Yes. All right. So we're here with Aimee, and she is the Sseko Brave for January, which is crazy. January is usually a month that a lot of us try to stay away from because we feel like no one has any money. But like Aimee just said, what do they get in December?
They just got their Christmas money. Hello.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah. But I think that it is a difficult month to get people to commit because they've been so busy the prior month before that a lot of people want to take a break. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to gain that commitment and support from your hostesses so that all of us can enjoy some tips from Aimee to hopefully rock out our events and be successful. So my first question is, what do you find is the most important step for your hostess to know before her event starts? Like, is there something specifically you try to make sure you convey to your hostess to just really get her buy-in to host her event?
Before they host their event, so if we already have the date on the calendar, one thing I make sure I do is touch base because a lot of I'll book months in advance. I'm not just looking at like the next week. I'm looking at January, February, March. I'm already booking into April and May right now.
Yeah.
So I touch base at least once a week, and sometimes it's every other week. I'll be perfectly honest. I have a newborn. Life gets in the way.
Right.
But I try to touch base once a week and just say, hey girl, how's it going? Are you super stoked? How's life? I check their Facebook pages or like comment on their pictures. And so they don't forget me.
That's awesome.
while we're away, they don't forget
Mm-hmm.
me. So I think that's super important, and they know in advance then that I'm there.
Right.
And I'm not sneaking up on them in the middle of June saying, hey, remember back in January when we booked that party?
Yeah.
So I'm already kind of their friend.
Yeah, I think there's definitely two key things you said there. One is that you're booking months in advance. So the fact that you had shows in January, those shows were most likely not booked the beginning of January or the beginning of December even. They were most likely booked during like either our holiday season or our booking blitz with people who are like, it's not good right now, that sort of thing. So that's super important to know. And then also, I love that you said that you go and follow their Facebook pages because I think that is the one thing that many times we forget. I love that you contact them at least once a week or every other week, but that is a way for them to get to know you and for you to get to know them as well. So that is a great tip. I love that one. Very good. Awesome. The other thing I want to know is if you could tell us more about your hostess coaching process. Like, do you have a process that you put in place? Maybe just like the key areas you focus on for your hostess coaching?
Yeah. So about 2 weeks before the event, I reach out and just say, hey, how's it going? Are you super stoked? We're 2 weeks out now. Hooray. All the exclamation points and
Right.
emojis for days. Um, and I start to prep them. So I'll start to say, hey, now's a great time. Grab your bucket bag or whatever it is that they purchased maybe in the party that they booked from.
Right.
Say, hey, grab your bag and post something on Facebook or your Instagram or carry it with you everywhere. Make it your purse right now. And it really starts to get them super excited about their party. People start to see the product in advance. So they start asking questions because, hello, those bags are beautiful. So you start to get noticed. So I start kind of prepping them about 2 weeks out and just saying, okay, it's time. Let's go. Let's get it. The more you're in it, the more your people will be in it. So then 1 week out, I'm like, hey, saw those posts. Great job. I'm super excited. Are you? Just trying to keep the excitement up and telling them, hey, it's a week out. So in a few days, I'm going to make your event. Now is a great time to start talking to your friends like, hey, remember that bag? Oh my gosh, I'm having a party. You have to come, and start pulling your friends towards the party so that by the time the party starts on Sunday night or whenever it is it starts, everyone's ready. They're RSVPing yes immediately because they know exactly what we're talking about already. No surprise invites. You want to already have your people prepped at least a week beforehand. And hostesses are, I would say a lot of them are already in direct sales, which can be a good thing and a bad thing because not has the same method. But they understand why it's important to have kind of have that excitement there.
I
So
think that is like two key things is like your messages before, like those 2 weeks beforehand of like getting them to, if they purchased a product. So if they were at a past show, like saying, hey, post a picture of your item that you got from your friend's show and start wearing it regularly and, talk it up a little bit to kind of play in and see like who's interested, look at who likes those posts, that sort of thing, kind of coaching them on what they should be looking for to see who is interested beforehand. That's super key. I love that, Aimee. And then I love what you said about having hostesses who are also direct sellers, because I think sometimes people are really afraid of that because of having different ways of doing things, and possibly bad experiences with someone who was a direct seller who was super busy and maybe didn't have the time.
yeah,
That
happens.
it happens. It totally happens. But I think that's what's really unique about the way you've built your business is that you do have a lot of direct seller friends because you were in direct sales before Sseko, with another company. It is your circle, and you still hit very good numbers. You still have very consistent events. You have people who do follow you. So I think that sometimes, not to totally change the status quo is kind of what I'm saying, is that many times those women will understand that, the important is for them to be excited, but they might need to be reminded too,
Yes,
So,
because we all go about it a little differently. That's why direct sales
yeah.
is so cool. We're all unique and we're all our own person. And that just happens to be a large circle within my friend group. I'm only recently a mom, so the mommy group is still new to me. So I'm not
Right.
bombarding them with how awesome Sseko is right now.
Right.
They just maybe happen to see my sandals while I was pregnant in the summer, and my Sseko
Right.
sandals were legit the only thing I could wear.
Yeah.
That attracted a lot of mommy interest because they
Right.
saw me wearing my sandals. So it's all
Right.
about who's in your group and what's happening.
Right. Yeah. No, I love that. Awesome, Aimee. So if there was one thing that you could feel encourages your hostess the most, to have more bookings at her event, what would it be? Like, do you do anything specific to try to really encourage your hostess to continue to build out from that?
So to encourage them to have friends
Then,
book parties,
yeah.
I give them an incentive. So if I get 3 bookings from their party, if I get 3 dates on the calendar, then my hostess gets a brave charm for their bracelet,
Oh, nice.
because they're being brave and passing on the story. So
Yeah.
to reward and thank them for being
Right.
brave.
So is that something you try to share with your hostess, like before the start of their event, or is that something that you share with like during the night of the event?
I share it with them on the night of the event, so it's really fresh in their minds. It's part of my day of check-in. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you're good, right? Tonight's still gonna work. Awesome, you're gonna be there.
Awesome.
Great news. If 3 of your friends book a party, you get a brave charm for your bracelet. So let's do this.
Awesome. I think that's a really great way of doing it, because I think, when you're reaching out to them to like get those messages out to remind people, and also kind of having them think again, like who would be somebody that would probably host a show. It's kind of fresh in their mind that night to see who is engaging and so forth. So that's really good. Thanks so much for that. Because I think sometimes we share in the front end and then forget to make it that really they are your best cheerleader
Oh yeah.
the night of the event, to be like, oh my goodness, so and so, you would be great at this because they've been engaging, or you should host one too if you really want that bucket bag. Like they're able to be a little bit more of the speak into their friends than what you are just on a post that says if 3 of so and so's friends, or even just at a home trunk show saying those things.
Right.
They can pick out their friends a little bit better than us. So,
and also I encourage them to shamelessly tag their friends too. Like, hey, be shameless. Tag your friends. Like, girl, you better host a party, and like tag your friends and tell them, hey, I'll go to your party. You came to mine. It's
right.
It only benefits them. It's not,
And I think that's the biggest thing too. Like if you're telling them to shamelessly tag their friends, I think that explaining to them, like the women that you see who are all in this, or women that are definitely going to love this story, those are the women that will most likely be the ones to book anyways. but they might need a little bit of that encouragement from their friend, you know, so that's awesome. So now this is the life question, Aimee. So how, as a new mom, which your little lady is super beautiful, gorgeous, as a new wife, pretty new wife, not too long, it'll be 2 years, or was it?
It was 1 year in January.
1 year, right. So, oh my goodness, new mom, new wife, and a fellow with a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the tool or system you use to keep everything moving for your Sseko business?
Good question.
I mean, I think that you just shared one of them before we started recording. So I would love for you to share that for any of the new moms or non-new moms, because I personally felt like that tip was amazing for a teenage mom to clear my head once in a while. Yeah. But if there's anything you do specifically for your business that helps you just continue to keep things consistent.
Yep. On a personal level, like you said, we talked about this before the recording. I talked to my husband and really told him, just on a personal level, like I was feeling that I lost Aimee somewhere along the way. I was stuck being Laurelyn's mom, or being Aimee the professional, or even Aimee the fellow. I lost Aimee. So we agreed that for at least 2 hours on a Saturday, Aimee gets to go and leave the house, leave the baby, leave the husband, leave everything, and do whatever it is Aimee wants to do. This past Saturday, it was coloring. I went to Dunkin' Donuts, got a coffee, and colored for 2 hours. It was great.
I love it. I'm telling you, I think that is such a good piece of advice. And like I said, even as a mom of a teenager, like, I'm like, ooh, 2 hours where I get to just color and no one can bother me. That sounds amazing. So I feel like that's such good advice, but especially as a new mom and a new wife and going back to work full time, all of those things. That's such good. And I'm so glad that you spoke with your husband about it, because like I said earlier, that's super key too, is, you know, they will want to fix everything. Like you said, you know, that's their instincts to try to fix the situation. But many times they are able to do something as far as helping support that. So that's great.
Yeah.
Is there anything professionally that you've been, like a system or a process that you've kind of put in place, or a tool you use that keeps your sanity for your Sseko part?
Yeah. So professionally, what I do is keep everything in my Google Calendar, as my Google Calendar is linked to my phone, it's linked to my computer, it's linked to everything. I live on my Google Calendar. I put all my parties in there. I put reminders for myself in there. Me and Google Calendar, we're BFF. I mean, I would be lost without it.
Yes.
So it's always in the front of my mind. Oh, I have a party this week. Okay. Did I check in with the hostess? It's Sunday night. Oh my gosh, did I create the party? Am I ready to go? Putting those reminders in my phone, that is always attached to me like an appendage.
Right.
And I keep a spreadsheet too. So of the people I've contacted, when I contacted them last, what was their answer? Was it yes or no, or maybe later? The maybe laters put a tickler in my calendar saying, hey, reach out to XYZ about XYZ, just trying to keep it moving, and always booking months in advance. If they say not right now, say, hey, spring's coming, how about May? And they're like, yeah, sure, I don't care. May's great, because there's nothing going on right now as far as they know in May.
Right.
So if I get a date in the calendar, I'm golden, because we can always adjust a date. If they just say, not right now, if I can get a date, then I'm in.
Right.
We can work with it.
I love that. I think the Google Calendar, that's something that I agree. It's like, I should go on a date with Google Calendar. The one thing that I've started doing is when I get the hostess's email and I put it in my calendar, I send them also a notification that I put their event in my calendar. So in case they use their best friends with Google Calendar too, they could add it to their calendar. So that's something that I've just started. But I love that, like, you know, putting those reminders in there, because this thing that we like, basically our whole lives are on them. It is a great way to just kind of be like, oh, darn it, I didn't make that event yet, or I need to reach out to this hostess before, too long, because I want to make sure everything's going well.
Yeah.
So I love that. Gosh, you had a lot going on there. I love that you gave a whole lot of, information there, because I think that is key to just the organizational processes, the spreadsheet to track yeses and nos and maybes. I don't do that, Aimee. That's awesome. That's something that I totally should be putting in place. It's just a really great way to keep on track. And also, like you said, that consistency where you're not feeling like, oh no, I need to start over from scratch all over again because I haven't kept the momentum going. And I think that was my thing when I saw, you just went back to work.
Yeah.
Right. I want everybody to know that Aimee just went back to work and she did amazing in January already. And I think that's a testament to basically what systems you have in place, was that you knew that you were going to take that time off to an extent. You could work your Sseko business a little bit, but you were at home with your newborn. And now you're going to be going back to full time, and you needed to still keep the momentum going somehow without having too much stress and too much of who am I? What am I doing with my life? So I love that. Really, really great tips, Aimee. Next thing, what has been, and I really want to ask this because I feel like it's kind of my hope, like I was saying earlier, is that our team would always create this feeling of togetherness and unity. That's why we're called the Union of Bravery. Is like, what would be kind of maybe the one thing that you feel that our team has really helped you with or provided you with support, or, what's the team's role in you being successful?
I wouldn't live without the team. Our team is so optimistic. They're so passionate. They're so creative. I'm not really creative. Like, y'all, I'm really bad at like graphics. No, it's not my strength. It's not. Being able to beg, borrow, and steal ideas from the very creative souls in our party, in our team, it really, it helps me and it motivates me, because I see our team members saying, hey, I got 9 bookings for the booking books. I'm like, dang, I only have like 5. Are you kidding? I got to move. And it gets me moving. It's great. It's really great.
I think that's so true. I feel that way many days, that when I open it up and I haven't commented anything, to see that like everyone is still very much optimistic about each other. Like there really is no, it's very healthy competition. Like I don't agree that competition isn't a good thing. I think that there's a difference between good competition and bad competition. But I feel like our team really creates this optimistic environment where everyone is valued at the level that they're at, or at the season that they're at. So I'm glad that you see that too, and that motivates you. And yes, we have some extremely creative people on our team, because I agree, there are days where I'm like, wow, just really amazingly creative people on our team. So that's good. Is there anything else that you, maybe something that you feel like this year you would like to be a bigger part of the team? Or I know you have some big goals. So.
I do. I have a big goal to become a mentor this year. So that's my major goal. I'm stepping away from some of my other obligations, and I really want to focus on my Sseko business and becoming a mentor. So that's kind of my big goal this year.
Yeah. I think definitely a lot of these tools and processes and systems that we've been talking about, they're also very good tools to build a team, to look and see like which have been my hostesses that are like super enthralled and engaged and loving everything about it. That's definitely a way to be able to go back and track that. And that's good to have those systems in place for yourself. So that's great. I know you're going to do it. I have no doubts. I have no doubts. So I'm so proud of you again for just really thinking about the fact that in all honesty, this is the thing that I think about the most with hosting events is like, I love doing parties and I love being a part of the Sseko, story. But at the end of the day, that is the biggest return for our girls, is when we do host events and share the story. So doing your part to continually to be consistent, even amongst all these life changes, Aimee. I have to personally just say thank you for our team, because on days where I've been in a slump, Aimee has inspired me. So I appreciate it a lot. So I will get this out to the team. I know they'll probably have lots of questions on all your systems. So be prepared for girls to ask questions, but I know that you're completely open to that also, for people to plug your brain too. So I appreciate
Anytime.
it. Awesome.